Tipping. Don't be too tight and don't be too generous, you know. Tipping seems to be part of the culture in this part of the world. So if you're in a gas station, 10 pesos is enough to tip. If you're in a restaurant, depending on how long they served you for and how well they served you, you know, anywhere from 40 pesos to 150 pesos. 150 pesos, that's probably if you were there for 2 hours and they did a good job. So you give them 150 pesos tip, or 100, and they'll be happy. Once you start giving 300, 400, 500, then everybody else becomes a bastard for not giving us much. So please don't spoil it for the rest of us. Confident people. You may not be used to confident people. They're very confident, you know, and that can be overwhelming, because if it happened in Toronto or New York or Adelaide or wherever, you know, if people come up to you too confidently and say, "Hi, what's your name?" and you may think, "Who are you? Do I know you?" You know, but it's not worth reacting like that down here, because there's a lot of them that have that confidence. So just go, "Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?" You know, "What's your name?" And "Jose, yeah. How can I help you, Jose?" Or "What are you up to?" A lot of it is, of course, about them trying to get something, money, and then you've got to put your boundaries in place. If there's one place on planet Earth that tests your boundaries with other people, then it's this place. But then you'll get good at it, and that'll be skills you can use anywhere in life in the future. If they can find a way to get a free drink out of you or a free cigarette or whatever, they will. Lies, letdown, sob stories and scams. It's not like they want to trick you, all of them, but a lot of them will throw a little white lie in to try to get what they're trying to achieve, and it's usually money or some stuff to help them in life. So you just have to judge each one, but a lot of them will let you down when it comes to appointments, etc. If you say, "Well, let's meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock at such and such place," you may be sitting there for a while and they don't turn up, then they're uncontactable, a lot of them, and you feel let down. They're not as, in general, good at time management and punctuality as we are, so try to get used to that. All right, you're not used to the currency down here, and that comes very quick. In the beginning, just run around with your calculator, and after a while you'll actually start thinking in Dominican pesos. You're not really paying at most places anyway with US dollars. It could be a car rental company that'll take it. It's good to just exchange a little bit in the airport. In InfoHub you're going to find my recommended places for changing money where you can get a better rate, so check that out. But always have at least 2,000-3,000 pesos on you, probably no more than 5,000 pesos, and just don't flaunt your money. Make sure you know where your wallet or your purse is at all times. Don't leave things floating around like your cell phone. The moment you look away, everything has legs here and it might disappear. So if you have a money belt, good. And when you start getting your money out, the eyes start going your way, so it's okay for you to turn around and not show people what you're pulling out of your wallet. I actually recommend that. If they see a big wad of cash, you could be targeted as well. Somebody might follow you, so don't show off. Okay, prices. Some things are cheaper down here and some things are going to cost more. One guy was just telling me yesterday that back in the US he could get a pizza a lot cheaper for a large pizza than he found down here. So you got to shop around. During my tour that I do, I also help point out where all the bargains are, especially if it's Sosua or Cabaretta. People sticking together. That can be good and it can be bad. There's some close family units down here, which is really cool. But if you get in a motorbike accident, a car accident, even if you're oh so right and they're oh so wrong, the Dominicans in general will always try to help each other out of a situation where they've got to pay the gringo. So that can be very frustrating. Getting another gringo around you who speaks good Spanish could be extremely helpful. It actually happened to me. I was surrounded by probably 15 motoconcho drivers, motorbike drivers, and there was one guy who had bashed into me. Lucky for me, my rental agent came along and I yelled out, "Carlos," and he came over and he spoke good English and good Spanish, and he told them all to shut up. He wanted to hear my version first of the story, and then he heard what they had to say, and then he hooked into them, and literally within 30 seconds all those motorbike drivers just buggered off. because they could see it was too hard basket, and they left me alone because it would end up being the other guy paying me money. So yeah, there's pros and cons to them sticking together, but I do like their close family units, and they can be extremely welcoming. If you make friends with Jose, he will introduce you to his whole family. They will share whatever they have. They also like when you share what you can share. So just keep your boundaries in place there. People wanting to help, they're extremely helpful, but sometimes it is for money. You know, they'll push you if you run out of gasoline on the highway, or you have anything wrong with your vehicle. There'll be 2-3 people coming straight away, and they take great interest. Some have an expectancy of money, some don't. So if you're in doubt, you just simply say, okay, you want to help? I highly appreciate it, but I'm not paying anything for it. If you have expertise and you can throw it in the pot, cool, but I'm not paying for it. Then some of them walk away, others say, no, I don't charge for this, and then they help you. Promiscuous and charming people. You don't get so much of that in society or westernized societies, but down here, it's an island, it's a holiday place. People are more forward and seductive, and that can be nice. It can also lead to a lot of disaster, but you know, you got to be able to control that with your boundaries and decide, is this the way I want to go? Be careful of underage people. They can get you in trouble, just like drugs down here. Also be careful of their IDs, can be fake. So there's a lot to be said for, if in doubt, don't. If they look young, they probably are younger than what they look. Then it's better to turn it down. Some say, no, I am 18, see? And then say, do you have a second ID? Oh yeah, but it's at my home. Okay, well, if you can get that and show me, then maybe we can talk further. So put them in that situation. They got to show a couple of IDs because it's for your safety. You don't want to be put in a situation where police come along because you're out there with a minor, and they're very strict on this. So they have to be 18, and if you need to see 3 IDs to be sure, then do so. All right, let's talk about banking. There's banks down here that are very bureaucratic, and then there's others that are a lot more easygoing. And if you hire me as a consultant, I will mention names and I will tell you which ones to stay away from, in my opinion, and which ones are a lot more lenient. The ones I would recommend only need you to bring a fresh bank reference down here, as well as 2 IDs, and that could be, say, a driver's license and a passport. Some of the others, they need a long list of stuff, and sometimes they make it very hard for you to get that bank account. Others are also asking, well, should I set up a US dollar account as well as a pesos account? Well, it really depends on what you need to do. You can just have a pesos account in your name and make wire transfers. If it arrives in US dollars, there'll be a conversion rate that they follow, and it gets converted into pesos. And then you can have a card for that account, and you can go to any ATM, and it's not a credit card, but it's like a charge card where you can use it as long as you've got money in your account. So that's what most people do here. You can also get internet banking on these accounts. You just simply got to ask for it. A lot of the time you have to go face to face. There's not much that gets set up through electronic communication. One thing Dominicans always like is, no, you must come down, you must see us, you must sign these different forms. So they want to see you in person. But once you've done that, then you're good to go. Okay, I just wanted to mention something about crypto. I know a team of Bitcoin guys and crypto guys down here. So if you want to exchange, say, dollars to crypto or crypto to pesos, that's also possible. Just contact me for that one. All right, the next thing, internet connection. There's some real horrible companies here for internet, and there's some good ones. So again, this is where during consultancy I can advise you who to stay clear of, because some of them will lie and cheat and mess you around, and others will give you what you find normal in other countries. I've got a little dog coming here. All right, maybe everybody wants to say hello to little Kayla. Hello, everyone. Okay. So she's just roaming around at my feet here. Another thing is water supply down here. If you're renting, you got to just check how consistent they get water in that complex or in that villa. Does it have its own well, or is it supplied by Coro Plata, they're called? That's the water company, and they can be a bunch of interesting people, trust me. So you're really going to find out how solid that water supply is, your electrical supply. If the electricity goes out, do they have an inverter with batteries to back it up, or do they have what they call a planta, which is a generator that kicks in? Because if the power goes down, your internet goes down. So you got to check internet, water, power, how solid is the supply of that. And if you're buying, many areas don't have any water in them, so you got to get your own well. And if they do have water in them, some seasons they claim, oh, we don't have any water to supply, and then the only way to get water is by ordering these expensive truckloads of water to be dumped into people's cisterns, etc. So this is worth checking out. Freight and ordering. Okay, there's freight companies down here where you can set up an account, which they have at a warehouse in Miami. So if you're ordering anything from Amazon or other places, you can have it sent through that address, and it gets shipped down here to their counter, and you just pay for the weight. That's another thing. If you go to InfoHub and join that, you can see which freight companies I recommend and visit those and set up an account. Insurance, the same thing there. In InfoHub I have about insurance brokers, so check that out. There's some of the brokers, they are handling all the different insurance companies in the country here. People often ask me, should I insure myself against this and this and that? I'm not a big fan of insurance companies myself, but insure yourself against the things that you feel you couldn't find the cash for if things went really horribly wrong. And for the rest, I mean, if it's medical stuff, you can go into like Bornegal Hospital in Puerto Plata, which is my recommended one, and you can say, I want a room, a doctor, an x-ray for 2 hours, how much is that? And they'll tell you the price, and then you say, yeah, let's do it. You know, they're not trying to sell you extra nights in the hospital like some of the local ones here are doing. That's the insurance part. Let's move on. Schools and homeschooling. There are a few schools in the area. Some of them are run by a bunch of what I call COVIDiots. They're forcing the kids to wear their face nappies, breathing in carbon dioxide and bacteria all day, and all that crazy crap. So if you don't want that, you have to ask that school up front. In consultancy, I can go into more depth about who does what. I'm a big lover of homeschooling, so there's a program for your kids called time4learning.com, and half the time you can spend on the computer and half the time off. So if you have somebody that can homeschool them, that's a great program. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, where do I meet other expats? Well, especially if you're in the Sosua Cabaretta area, you will meet a lot of expats out there. They are in restaurants and bars, just hover down the beach and you'll meet them. It's just down to how social can you be. You know, a simple one is if you're in a bar or somewhere, how you doing, sir? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from California. Or, you know, and people are not so insulted down here. Why, who the hell are you? They don't do that because we're all foreigners down here. We're all visitors. So it's a normal thing that people just reach out and say, where are you from? And then the next thing, what's your name? You know, shake their hand, get acquainted. And after you've spoken for 5-10 minutes, you may find that, hey, this is a real cool person, or maybe it's not your type to hang out with again, you know, and then you've met them and you have a new acquaintance and you'll make a lot of good friends. There's a lot of like-minded people down here, which is one of the things I love. We all had the guts to leave our home countries and families and friends behind for what we consider a better life down here in the tropics. So a lot of the people have the same mentality. They don't like Uncle Sam. They just want to be left alone, you know, and live a peaceful life and, you know, have fun, enjoy entertainment, etc. So that's not hard. If you go to some of the karaoke's or you go to some of the concerts that's going on, there's a lot of cheerful people around. If you don't approach them, you'll probably be approached by them, and then it's up to you, you know, how far you want to take the friendship. Okay, shipping items or cars. Okay, if you're moving down here, you may want so many boxes. There are moving companies here, but it's best to choose one that does door to door, you know. When I first came here, I had, I think, 25 boxes stored in Europe with a freight company, and I paid so much per month to have it sitting there till I was ready to contact them from down here in Dominican Republic. I contacted them in Europe and said, now I know where I need my stuff sent to, so can you ship it down? And it arrived in a plaza down here in a big truck. There was lots of other people and families, and they just emptied all the boxes out of the back, and then, you know, you have it like Mr.T, 1 of 25, 2 of 25, 3 of 25, and you get your bunch of boxes and you sign for it, show your full details and verify it's you, and off you go with your stuff. With cars, I wouldn't be so quick. We have something here called aduana, which is the customs, and they're a bunch of thugs. They sit on people's stuff sometimes or put huge fees on to release it, so they know that the person will just give up on it in the end, and then they take it, steal it. So it's best to deal with a company that, like a freight company or somebody who's dealing with them all the time, because they are a lot less likely to mess them around because they have to work with each other every day. The person who tries to do the freighting of a vehicle themselves, you may get messed around. So it's better to buy it down here. You can get most things, even Puerto Plata, Santiago, Santo Domingo, that you're looking for. Everything you can get overseas, you can pretty much get here. And at least then you know when you pay, it's yours and you can get it, receive it, which is not always the case when you're choosing to freight things yourself. There's something called Blue Drum shipping. This is really to do with New Yorkers. I learned this one. So just look up Blue Drum shipping. They have these 200-liter barrels, and you can stuff as much of different things in it as you can, and they seal them up and ship them down here for you, door to door. Storage facilities, they have a lot of those as well in the region. So if you need to store stuff while you're here or while you're away till you come back, they exist as well. Go into InfoHub again and you'll find the name of these companies and the contact details and addresses, etc. Dogs, bringing dogs down here, well, all the different paperwork you need to prepare to get a dog down here, you can find out in your own home country. If you're taking a dog out of here in the Sosua area, one veterinarian who does all the paperwork, look again in InfoHub and you'll find it in there. If you want your dog looked after while you're away for a little while, they have services here for that as well. Again, InfoHub has all this information in it. Safety and security, let me just talk about that one. There's a video called Safety and Security, so I won't get too deep into it, but you're like a holy cow in India when you are in the public eye down here. People in general are very friendly, and that includes the Haitians and the Dominicans. So nobody likes a troublemaker here. They don't put up with disrespect or arrogance or tough guys. It's just very tranquil and friendly. So you are safe if you're in the public eye. And if anybody tried anything, you can expect there'll be 10 people around you in a heartbeat to help you. When it comes to your home security, the theft that goes on this island is typically what we call opportunity theft. You made it easy for them to come for it. If they see it, they want it. When they want it, they come for it. So again, don't leave stuff out. Don't advertise. If you buy a new TV, don't put the box outside for the rubbish man. No, rip it into pieces and burn it in the fire pit. Yeah, if there's security guards, just because they're a security guard holding a shotgun doesn't mean that the guy necessarily has integrity and ethics. It's very much some of the poorest people that they give the security jobs to. So be careful what you show them. Roll the curtains if you're going to sit and count some cash. Don't let them see anything. If they see it, they want it. When they want it, they come for it. And that could even be the security guard if you tempt him too much. So always have this awareness that don't give temptation to anybody. Even with jewelry, don't wear your fanciest jewelry unless you're going to a private party or something, then you may put it on there. But this is not the island to show off on down here. Material things is a sign of wealth, and one of the parts of the culture here is they want money. So don't tempt them, don't tease them. The last thing I'm going to cover in this video is doing business and working, but only very lightly again, because I have a full video about that topic. The main thing I want to say is if you don't have to work down here, don't. Just come here to enjoy the people, the island, if you can afford not to work here. If you do have to work here, try to work from home, and you can fly under the radar pretty much, if you know what I mean. So don't wear your logo and anything if you're going to work from home. Just loose lips, sink ships, do what you need to do. Maybe you're teaching people English online. Maybe you trade on the stock market, whatever, from your computer. And then when you're done doing that, go do what you enjoy to do. In terms of business as well, don't get an open door business if you can avoid it. If you don't speak the language, you're not used to the culture. If you have an open door business, which would be an office, it could be a paintball court, it could be a tennis club, anything where people can walk in and harass you. Well, they could also walk in and buy from you, and that's what you got to just weigh up. It takes a certain type of person to handle the pressure of beggars, hustlers, tax department people, other government people, police coming in, etc., etc. You're going to have some real strong nerves to handle that kind of business. I wouldn't like that kind of business myself, but that's just me. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope everything I covered in this video was helpful to you. Again, if you would like tailor-made, specific consultancy based on your goals and dreams, then please hire me as a consultant. You can do that by sending me an email to info@educatedtraveler.info. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. I can help you a lot. At least join InfoHub. I mentioned it a few times through this video. For $19.95, you get a one-time fee to get a ton of information, and we keep updating it regularly. So happy travels, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.